After 2 years in MLS, is it mission accomplished for Zlatan Ibrahimovic? Certainly in terms of headlines, after the defeat in the playoffs to LAFC, their first ever to LAFC, this is what he had to say, particularly modest as always. I made LAFC famous. I even made Vela famous. Imagine if I'm not here anymore. If I stay, it will be good for MLS because the whole world will watch it. If I don't stay, nobody will remember what MLS is. Brian, I saw you rolling your eyes in bemusement. Disgust.
Yeah, I'm pretty ticked off. And I'm ticked off because usually, listen, he makes some comments that are outlandish, but there's a bit of truth to it. And to me, this has nothing but saying, listen, I'm going to try and work through the back way to get the best contract I can, whether it's here or overseas. How can he say MLS is going to fail or no one's going to care about it? So to me, he seems to be talking more about the people that don't understand MLS, the non-soccer fans in the United States. Because a league's been around for 23 years. The club that you're saying you've made famous has the most famous owners you possibly can imagine. You have a Carlos Vela who has been extremely talented throughout his career, but just hasn't been able to necessarily put things together consistently. Bob Bradley's got him doing that now. This has nothing to do with Zlatan. So for him to say the quote that he just said, it's very, very irritating. And I'm actually a bit pissed off about it. Because if you look at all the things he's done for LAFC, he's brought more awareness to it. Was there awareness for LAFC or for LA Galaxy before? Heck yeah, there was. I look back to when David Beckham played there. My wife would get calls from all her friends about, I've never been to a soccer game before, but I want to go to a soccer game now. And not one phone call about Zlatan. Soccer fans, yes, they love Zlatan, right? And he is an entertainer. But he is not someone that you have to have in this league. In fact, I'd say now, I don't want him in this league. So we can show Zlatan that we can do whatever we want without you. Certainly, listen, great player. The assist last night, the fact that he sees he knows the defender is going to try and open his leg to block and plays it through from a long distance. Those are special things. The goal, I know that's all there, but you're not bigger than a club. You're certainly not bigger than a league. And all the things that you do and the fun that we get from you out of your mouth, I enjoy all that. But that quote, that's garbage.
You reach the limit. You reach your limit of your tolerance for that kind of attitude. Because we know why he said it. He knows why he said it. You could forgive if it was being absolutely genuine, which I don't think he is. If he was being absolutely genuine, you could forgive it for being heat of the moment as well.
Sure.
But here it's calculated, clearly, to try and get a rise out of people, to try and get a rise out of the soccer community in the United States. But he's saying, I put LA on the map, and effectively, don't you want that to continue?
And I disagree with everything you just said. And I also am going to add, I think he's saying this for soccer fans overseas. Not soccer fans here in MLS. People know how hard MLS has had to work to get to the level they're at. They're adding, Miami's coming in. Sacramento just got announced. St. Louis is coming in. This league is here to stay and thrive and grow. But there's still doubters overseas. There's still people, soccer fans overseas that see MLS as, this, podink little league, where by saying this, he's trying to emphasize that fact. And I don't like it.
In terms of where he ends up next, this is basically his last chance to go back to Europe and actually maybe compete somewhere, right? The one trophy that's missing from his cabinet is the Champions League. Do you think that he's effectively just saying, come and get me?
He doesn't have an MLS Cup.
That's true.
He talks about trophies. He's won trophies everywhere. He hasn't won in MLS. But yes, I do believe, and having said all that, I still think Zlatan can play at a high level. I still think he can contribute to a Champions League club. But comments like that, it just frustrates the heck out of me and what everything has been building towards and will continue to build. He's just minimized it to the point where it's made all about him and has nothing to do about him.
What effect do you think it might have on the league or on LA's decision going forward? Do you think that they would maybe reconsider whether they want to re-sign him at the levels that obviously they're going to have to pay to do that?
You know, this is probably the most difficult part because, yeah, the level of your money you're going to have to give him is going to be substantial. And he's just basically told you, I really don't care about this team. Listen, you bring me in, I make you better, right? That's it. Okay, to a certain extent, you're right. But you don't make the team. You look at Pavone last night. He worked his tail off. And every time I saw Zlatan, and I thought this might change in the playoffs, Zlatan was just standing there, right? And for me, especially in playoff soccer, you raise your game. Great goal, assist, okay, no problem. But he could have given more. And those are things I think LA needs to look at because certainly, are they better with Zlatan? Yes, they are. No denying that. Can he take over a game? Yes, he can. But you'd want to see it, especially in just raising your work rate and the amount of things that you can do on the field. You'd want to see that in a situation like that.
Overall then, very difficult question. Is it a sign of strength or weakness if they renew him?
That's a great question. I just told you, I'd rather him not be in the league. As much as I'm a huge Zlatan fan, I'd want to show him that we're fine without you and we can do it. But it's an easier thing to say than do because of what he brings. And I'm not talking off the field, right? And I understand that entertainment side is very valuable to people. But for me, I look at it, the product on the field, and he still is a very good player, still one of the best in the league. But I'd leave him out.
Okay. Big call. We've got a couple of months left to run on Zlatan Ibrahimovic's contract. In the cold, harsh light of day, it'll be interesting to see if any of the parties reconsider and see what his next move is. But certainly the rhetoric has not turned down after that defeat to LAFC.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.